Welcome back everybody, my name is Nick930 and this is a first impressions for Middle-earth Shadow of War. Shadow of War is the sequel to the popular 2014 open-world Lord of the Rings inspired action game Shadow of Mordor and does very little to change up the formula. Shadow of War's story starts where the last game left off, with both Talion and his ghost buddy Celebrimbor heading towards Mount Doom to forge a new Ring of Power. Shortly after crafting the new powerful ring, Celebrimbor is taken hostage and Talion is forced to make a deal with the spider witch Shelob in exchange for the One Ring. Shelob uses the ring to see into the future and informs you of the orc threat to the last stronghold in Mordor. In order to weaken Sauron's influence, Talion needs to go out and start wreaking havoc on the orc ranks by assassinating leaders and turning orcs against each other, and a majority of the game's story revolves around hunting down war chiefs. Shadow of War's gameplay is mostly unchanged from the last game. The controls handle the same and the movement and animations are identical. There's a few nice tweaks to help make the gameplay more fluid, like the ability to double jump or quickly fly up vertically when scaling large structures. But combat, stealth mechanics, and enemy types all remain pretty much identical. Shadow of War does feature a larger emphasis on the role-playing features that were introduced in the last game. The game's dynamic orc hierarchy called the Nemesis System is expanded upon significantly, and you're given more options than before, like the ability to form your own army and upgrade your favorite orcs with legendary gear and abilities. This is where you'll likely see a lot of people complaining. The game's legendary gear and abilities are incredibly rare, so rare that it feels like it's done purposely so that you're more inclined to use the in-game store to purchase randomized loot crates to increase your odds of upgrading your orcs. It's not necessary in any way to finish the story, but for those players that love the game's Nemesis system, this will likely be frustrating. The game's multiplayer mode plays into this directly, allowing players to attack one another's fortresses and attempt to kill their high-value orc leaders. Orcs killed in these ranked events will be permanently killed, so you're basically forced to pay for legendary crates to stand a chance. You can always participate in friendly invasions that lets you attack their fortresses without risking the lives of your orcs, or you can avoid the multiplayer altogether if that doesn't interest you. Other than the main storyline missions and Nemesis system, there's also an exhaustive amount of side activities that feel like chores, and the map is a cluttered mess. You're going to need to set aside a whole month to fully explore the contents of this game, as a basic playthrough can take anywhere from 30 to 40 hours. In terms of graphics, Shadow of War does little to improve. The game's character models are decent enough, but they look close to identical to the last game that came out 3 years ago. Environments are still dark and dull for the most part. Performance is excellent and I encountered no slowdowns so far in my playthrough. But that's all I have for you guys now. The game's crazy long, so this review is going to take a while. I hope this video was helpful, and if you want to see more content like this, be sure to like and subscribe for more reviews posted every week.